What the hell was that? Seriously, this episode of Impact was weird. That's the only word I could sum it up with. But you know what? Thank you so much to my 387 subscribers. If you're not subscribed to the JDub show yet, go ahead and click that yellow button. You know, this is a TNA review, so I don't think I'm going to get too many subscribers off of this. But anyway, I'm going to include the ECW review at the end because I didn't do that one. It's going to be a real quick thing. But yeah, getting into this TNA Impact review. This was a very weird show. It starts out Jeff Jarrett is talking to Jeremy Borash. He's saying Kurt Angle was suspended for his actions last week, and he's docking his pay for a whole week. Okay, next we have another a promo, Mike West and Don Tenay with their little feud. Does anybody really give a damn about this feud? Because I know I don't. So next we have Mick Foley. This camera is too damn close. Next we have Mick Foley come down to the ring and he introduces Sting. And he's talking about his favorite match with Sting where he did an elbow drop on him or whatever. And then he talks about how Sting should leave the main event Mafia. Then the rest of the main event Mafia, except for Kurt Angle, comes out. And, you know, and they're talking, and people talk so much about WWE being PG, but Sting is out there talking to Kevin Nash like, you know what? That ticks me off. That ticks me off right there, Kevin. You know, whatever. So then next we have Lauren backstage. You know, no matches so far. Lauren backstage. She's interviewing Lethal Consequences. Jay Lethal does this impersonation of Ric Flair. It took me like a second to get it. That shows you how bad the impersonation was. But yeah, they bought these new flashy suits, and you know, I guess they're playing with the idea that Jeff Jarrett gave the money to them. He gave Kurt Angle's money to them, you know, whatever. First match tonight, Shelley defends the X Division Championship against Kiyoshi. It was a 4-minute match, real quick. Shelley wins with like a crossbody from the top rope. Second match tonight was a four turnbuckle ring tag match, whatever it was called. The Beautiful People versus Rhaka versus Sojorner versus Beautiful People versus Rhaka and Sojorner versus Awesome Kong and Raisha Saeed versus Taylor Wilde and Roxxi. The Beautiful People win that match. Third match tonight, Matt Morgan versus Superman, Shane Sewell, you know, the Hulk. A lot of people were talking about this was WWE. This was TNA's equivalent of Batista versus John Cena, because, you know, Matt Morgan is the botch master in TNA, and Shane Sewell, he's Superman. Last match of the night was LAX versus Beer Money for the and Matt Morgan won that match. Last match tonight, LAX versus Beer Money. Another loser leaves town match for the TNA Tag Team Championships. It ends in the disqualification. LAX wins the match, but they don't win the Tag Team Championships, and neither one of them have to leave town. Throughout this Impact, it was a point where Booker T came down to the ring. He came down with Scott Steiner. He's talking about how he wants his belt back from AJ Styles and everything. So AJ Styles comes from behind and attacks him. So Booker T and Scott Steiner start attacking AJ Styles. You know, they start jumping on him and everything. Then out of nowhere, these like stormtroopers come down to the ring. I don't know what the hell to call them. They look like black stormtroopers. They had goggles and helmets and body armor and all that. They come down to the ring and put AJ Styles in handcuffs. You know, so then, you know, throughout the whole damn thing, Don West, Mike Tenay, talking, steady talking, not even, you know, giving people a chance. I could hardly pay attention to what was going on in the ring because they were talking so damn much, because they have a feud now. And I'm thinking, Don West fails at being a heel because, like, all of a sudden, you hate Mike Tenay, so that means you hate everybody else. You know, you automatically jump to being a heel just because you have problems with him. Like, that doesn't make any sense. The transition to that was, like, horrible. Yeah, so after the Stormtroopers arrest AJ Styles, Booker T gets his belt back. Then, in the next segment of Impact, they tell us, you know, after this long time where Booker T's looking for his belt, trying to get his belt back from AJ Styles, complaining about AJ Styles having this belt. When he finally gets it back, they announce that Jim Cornette has taken his belt. What type of sense does that make anyway? It's his belt. They say Jim Cornette took the belt to sort the situation out. What the hell is it to sort out? Booker T was a Legends champion. AJ Styles stole his belt. Booker T got the belt back. Everything should have been well and good. But Jim Cornette takes the belt for some reason. So, yeah. In the beginning of the show, Jeff Jarrett announces that Kurt Angle was banned from the arena. So Kurt Angle was going through the arena beating up Lethal Consequences, beating up Eric Young, taking off their suits because they bought it with the money that I guess was supposed to be his. So finally, you know, at a point in the show, Jeff Jarrett says, you know what, I'm going down to the ring and I'm kicking Kurt Angle's ass. We don't see him until like an hour later. It takes him an hour later to get ready, you know, after security and found Kurt Angle and everything. So I'm thinking, like, what the hell is going on? It took him out, and all he did was change shirts and put tape around his arm. But, yeah, whatever. So he beats up Kurt Angle, you know, slams him into the posters, slams him into the Destination X posters. So while they're in this so-called street fight, they're still advertising for Destination X or whatever. So, yeah. Then he just throws Kurt Angle out of the arena. And out of nowhere, Team 3D and Mick Foley appear, and I'm looking like, why the hell would you appear now? And then, you know, they get in the ring and hold each other's hands up. Why the hell would you appear after the fighting was done? Like, you guys are great friends, you know. After all the fighting's done, then you want to jump in the spotlight. But yeah, this was a bad Impact. So, a typical Impact. Getting into the ECW review. First match of the night, Kane versus Boogeyman. Kane was there to because on Saturday is going to be the world television premiere of See No Evil, his movie. Kane ends up beating the Boogeyman. Boogeyman tries to do a move from the top rope, and Kane catches him and goes into a choke slam. And also, the Boogeyman has been released by WWE. Second match of the night, Mark Henry versus Santino Marella in a Money in the Bank qualifier match. Mark Henry ends up winning the match. Before the match, Santino gets on the mic and you know, he does this pretty funny skit. He also came out to the ring with Rosa Mendez and Beth Phoenix. And before the match even started, they they pan across the Money in the Bank briefcase, and Ty Grisham is on commentary. He's like, ladies and gentlemen, that is a briefcase. Like, he just said that, and Matt Striker was like, you know, great observation. You know, commentary on ECW is priceless, seriously. Next, they show an Evan Bourne promo. They show the latest episode of the Dirt Sheet with the Dirty Awards. Third match of the night, Natalya versus Alicia Fox. Natalya ends up getting the win in this match. There was some friction, you know, altercation between DJ Gabriel and Tyson Kidd after the match. So possibly a tag team match. Tyson Kidd and Natalya versus Alicia Fox. DJ Gabriel coming up pretty soon. Maybe. Fourth match of the night. 6-man tag. Jack Swagger, The Miz, and Morrison versus Christian, Finlay, and Tommy Dreamer. This was a great match. I was excited to see John Morrison and Christian get into the ring, but it was like a typical tag team type of altercation. It wasn't really an even playing field singles match, and I'm really anticipating that John Morrison versus Christian in the singles match. But it was a very, very, very good match. Jack Swagger and The Miz, John Morrison end up getting a win, and yeah, ECW, pretty good, unlike Impact, but that's usual. If you're not watching ECW, make sure you watch ECW, because a lot of the complaints that people have on about other WWE shows, about too many promos, Not enough wrestling. Those problems are non-existent on ECW. In the last 2 episodes I've seen, there were no backstage, backstage segments, interviews, none of that. Just straight out wrestling, and of course, like recaps from Raw and everything. But it's a straight out wrestling show, and the wrestling is pretty good on the show. So yes, you should really check it out. That's where I'll end this joint review. Rate, subscribe, comment, and peace out.